Greetings, fellow Demon Slayers. This is Taimanin and Mari and Tak, and we are here today with another Action Taimanin video. So, for today's topic, we're gonna talk about the state of Red in the game. And I mean, everyone knows Red is good, so we're kind of just gonna more run down key supporters really fast, and that'll really be it, because Red's been a really strong color for over a year now. But in the spirit of fairness, we have to talk about it, because, you know, it's a color in the game. So, let's just go over here and get these skanks sorted. Alright, so where do you want to start, Tak? There's so many good ones.
I mean, we can talk about the recent ones that we just got in, like the recent ones. Like we
Okay,
got the
so like,
Nui, Shizuru, and then Lydia are like the most recent ones,
alright, well, yeah,
obviously.
let's talk about the elephant in the room. This by far is the best thing like they've ever given us. I can't
I,
believe she's free to play.
yeah, because it's really weird because she's like all of this stuff in her supporter is literally screaming a gotcha supporter, but she's not. And the fact that we're missing two more copies of her is just like, wow, dude. Like they were really generous with Nui.
Yeah, they were, and it doesn't even scream gotcha supporter. It screams limited. Like, she feels like a limited supporter. Like as far as how powerful
Oh
she
no,
is. Yeah,
Oh no, yeah, she
yeah,
is because it's a New Year's basically. So yeah, it is basically a limited supporter.
yeah. Like we'll move on from her. We've gotten a lot of nice things, like especially with the color restrictions. So like Shizuru's a big one. This is
Yeah.
like crazy. It was crazy good like for red injection, and like it's good because it doesn't just work on her. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. I need to open the stream for you, don't I?
No, it's already open.
Okay. It's crazy good. Like it's crazy good because it doesn't just work on Shizuru. It like it works on everybody. Everybody that's red.
Yeah.
26% crit rate. That's like numbers like this were like unheard of when the game came out. You weren't just having a supporter give you like a fourth of your 100% crit. So
I
that's
believe the
great.
only red, yeah, I believe the only red supporter they gave was that SR one. That
Yeah, at
she only can
launch
support.
it was no, not her. They both have white hair. This one.
It's yeah.
Yeah. First, this was how we were getting our crit rate, and it only affected like melee attacks. So it was like, oh well, I could use this, but not on everyone. And the
And then
offside was you had to use Faust if you were gonna try to get a range character some crit.
yeah, and then after that it was Spica because Spica was only for melee though. That's the only catch. So
Yeah, I like Spica though, because she was really good for hybrid builds back then. Because like
yeah, she
Nui has
was.
some ranged moves and some melee moves, so like the ranged moves got some more crit damage, and the melee moves got some more crit rate. And of course, like she was also our red invincibility supporter, and to this day, she's the only one.
I mean, to be fair, Spica did kind of ruin Arena for free-to-play players after once she got introduced into the slot because that's when whales started going ham, getting one copy of her max, but to get at least another two copies of her.
Yeah, they were just kind of exploiting the 14-second invincibility. So yeah, like as far as the arena meta, like she kind of turned it over. And now that more people have Shisui, like it's just pretty much invincibility city there.
It's
Um,
just, but she's still a good supporter for free-to-play players if they can get their hands on her to even help them to do towers. Like that's really helpful for them.
yeah, she's viable pretty much in any PvE content. She's definitely helpful, especially if your character's a hybrid, and even if they aren't, because if they're not, then it doesn't matter because they'll benefit from one of these effects. So that's good. And her active hits pretty hard, honestly.
Yeah. I didn't realize this one until I saw her until I looked them up for before this we did the video. Mari actually kind of synergizes with Shizuru because of what she does basically.
Oh yeah, reduce damage taken from all enemies when they're debuffed. Art. Is it when you're debuffed or when they're debuffed?
It's when they're debuff.
Okay. Yeah, she does really synergize with her. She could also work in this new tanky meta. Maybe Mari's about to have some clout. Because
I mean, to be
36% is
fair,
a good amount.
yeah, because it's a huge amount. It's just the problem is that it's like when you ever Well, the thing is, the thing is though, if this is like if you're debuff, there's a lot of debuffs in the game that actually kind of, in hard contact though. That's the thing. She does kind of synergize though with her
Yeah, I don't
because
know
like
if it's you or them. I think it's them though. No, it says
yeah, oh no, I think it's you
I think it's
basically.
you. Yeah.
But then
But
again,
no,
it's
you're
like
right. You know, because in the end game, like they constantly drop like attack down on you, or they'll drop like some sort of
like
poison, or they'll just flat out stun you,
oh the heart charm
or the
too
heart
for
charm.
Ripper.
Yeah. So any status effect. Yeah, I could see her being okay. It's just my issue is like if you're running red, you might want to go more for damage than Mari. But for those people who want to play tankier, she could definitely fill that slot. Another one,
Yeah,
since we're talking about that, because she's kind of being power crept by this. She can just like do have that damage reduction, but for humans, just promised to her.
yeah, that
And
is true. When she's maxed out, she basically gives
it's
you
40%.
40%,
Yeah,
but it's
I
only
don't know
one
why I
fight.
haven't fused them. They're just chilling there. I think she's cute, so I don't want to break her for enchanting. So that's never gonna happen. But I'm not fusing them for whatever reason. Um,
I will say this so one event that one I know a lot of people don't have her if they started like after when she left. It's your Zora.
oh,
But I
this
will
is
say
like,
this much,
oh god, her
dude.
and
She,
Katagina and Onigumo are pissing me off at this point. We need them to repeat.
yeah, and the thing is, what's crazy about Yozora? She's been aging gracefully with the game because like she's actually
Sorry, you said gracefully. I love that. Like she's just the finest of wines.
no. The thing is, she's a free to play supporter, and but she's been aging really gracefully for the whole like this ever like to the game because like if you think about it, she's technically like the Christmas supporter, but the red version basically.
She is, and the thing I like about her is like while Felicia, where the fuck is fucking Felicia? There she is. While Felicia isn't good, Felicia synergizes well with Yozora. Like they go
Yeah,
well with each other because it's just like her heal. Felicia's heal is like kind of it's peanuts. It's not that good. But when you synergize them, like I've seen a lot of people run those two, and like their sustain is pretty nasty. Like they get a crit and then the regen starts and then they pop Yuzora and you see them jump from like 20% health to like 60, 70% and then start getting ticks from Felicia. Like in that scenario, it's decent. And you know, like it's not the best build, like it's not by any means like, you know, meta. But at the same time, like if you're needing to get through a bonus, like it'll probably get you through it. It'll keep you alive. You'll be fine. It's just the distribution of Yuzora. And this is the thing. I don't know everything they ever did on the JP server. I know some stuff repeated. Like I know they got Onigumo again, and we never did. But did they repeat
yeah,
Yuzora? Do you know?
yeah. I can tell you this much now. During their first year anniversary, they repeated the first event, the first four events they got for AT. So the first event for JP was the snake weapon for the original three starting characters, and then it was Oniguma, Yozora, and Katagina. So
Okay.
so they technically already got a repeat of them. It's just Global never really got their hands on them.
That's corny because the thing is this game, like I always say this, but the game came out with all the, it was literally quieter than a mouse fart when it released. So no one knew
Hmm.
this game released, and the game's still flying under the radar for the most part. Um, so that's the reason these, like, because it doesn't just apply to Yuzora, like Onigumo and Katagina. Those need to repeat just simply because there wasn't really a player base on global to receive them at launch. Like
Yeah,
even
and not
like
to
Onigumo, like you know how many people started a couple weeks after the game came out and they missed her? It's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it's by far really like a bunch of stuff that's missing. Like, and the crazy thing is that Yozora got another supporter formation too. So it's kind of like, if they're adding formations to these older supporters, you kind of need to bring her back. Honestly, like if you bring Yozora back, I think people will be more happy because she's the one supporter that a lot of people don't have, and she's really been like aging well, basically.
Yeah, and the issue with Felicia, because they are repeating her next, if people don't know, like literally this week, I think she's coming up, is that Felicia, like, the game had started to pick up some steam at that point, so a lot more people have a Felicia than they do a Yuzora. And definitely a lot more people have Mari, because we've already had Mari repeat, so,
Yeah.
like, no one really needs Mari, like, let's see, because now I'm just kind of looking at the free-to-play stuff. Major, you could have gotten her from the voucher that we get in the beginning of the game, but everyone knows don't pick her and pick Kaworu. So
No,
like,
because
yeah,
after, yeah, it's just that Major, she was the original Red supporter, but she's basically been falling out. She's aged already,
yeah,
so
Major's aged really poorly. Like she was like kind of the arena queen. And I do kind of like her, I guess, if you're doing like a mission and you kill all the trash, you can use her to bonk the boss on the head, but there's just so many better builds for that and so many AoE centric builds that
hmm
her single target 2000% damage just it's just not what it used to be, man. She's fallen off. It sucks 'cause I think Major's sexy as all fucking outside. Like I want a
as
girl who literally lives at the gas station and smells like cigarettes, like sign me up. But she's not
also
good. So,
also it doesn't help that Tower doesn't have like you don't fight Asuka or Emily in Tower, so her damage reduction doesn't really help you at all in Tower at all. So
yeah. Well, I mean,
uh,
you fight Emily, but or you mean you said in tower. I thought you were saying
yeah, in
arena. So you fight
Tower, like
Emily in
yeah,
arena, but like
yeah,
in arena she doesn't matter because invulnerability. They'll just invuln through her. And the other thing in arena, I don't know if others have experienced this, like older players, but sometimes when you use majors active in arena, the enemy like AI just iframes it, like they dodge it,
yeah. I
and like yeah, that just feels really bad when that happens because the cooldown's so long, you're not gonna see it again. Um, That's kind of some of the year one stuff. This Emily happened. She was given away for free.
Yeah, she was like a throwaway, I would say.
Yeah, I don't like. She's one of the poor red supporters. I think. I don't think she's super great. Her act is pretty funny though, because it does do a lot of damage. But it's like 12 seconds, and like it's just not up long enough to really,
And the percentage is
yeah,
low too.
yeah. Though it does, it hits hard though. I've seen Arc tested it. She actually hits pretty hard. We when she first came out, we were actually cry laughing. It's like, oh god, wow, that does damage. So I actually came across some people in arena when she first came out that were using this active, and it was like actually blowing people up. They just threw it on Emily. So Emily's like drone with this drone, and it was just enough to like melt someone. But I don't know what the state is of her now, especially since a lot of people don't have her past S1 because her banner was kind of one of those easy skips, especially since they gave her away for free. But if you
Yeah.
need to counter
Sure.
machine, she's okay.
Um.
Okay, that's pretty much. I'm just like looking at like the older stuff
Oh.
first.
The.
Hibiki,
Oh. This. Yeah. This one.
yeah.
She's been avoiding me since like day. Like ever since she was released.
Yeah, she's literally your golden goose. She won't drop for you. But
Yeah.
Hibiki was a weird one too. When she was one of the earliest like banners we got,
I think she
and
was the first one. I think.
she was sick. She
After.
was after the hunter weapons, I think, right? No, wasn't
Yeah.
Hisui before her? I don't remember. It was one of it was either one of them. They interchangeable, but people slept on her OD like, and I don't know why because like the increased damage dealt with normal attacks is just crazy good, especially if you have like a rebellious weapon to pair it with, or if you're just running Asagi, you just Kojenka, then she's online, and Asagi likes the basic attack, so they're like literally like a match made in heaven. So I still think even to this day Habiki's no slouch, and if you get one, you should be like happy with her because she's one of the good like she's a good damage steroid, no ifs ands or buts about it. And her active actually isn't that bad if you're like, very limited or you're new and you happen to land her and you don't have anything else. She doesn't have a bad active. Like you get 700% damage and a raid wide debuff for 12 seconds, and her cooldown is again one of those notoriously short ones. So you
It
could,
doesn't.
hmm?
Also, it doesn't help that we just got a character that loves to spread debuffs on enemies, which is like she kind of got revived from that character basically.
Yeah, Shizuru loves spreading debuffs, so Hibiki works there. But she has since then been power crept, because I think we're going to just go ahead and... Well, we'll go to this first, because she was power crept by this. This is like Hibiki 2.0. And
Oh,
I'm amazed that
yeah,
this is free to play. Because this is another, like, one of those free to play supporters that it's just like, wait, that's free to play?
yeah. Like they've been just throwing a bone for free to play players with these I don't know, for some reason these like ever since she came out, we've been getting like good supporters for free to play players, and they feel like they should be like gotcha lock basically.
Yeah, they do. Like, she does has a gotcha-centric passive. The other thing, I mean, it's literally better than a gotcha supporter, so it is a gotcha passive. But The other thing is if you don't have Yozora, she also provides some sustain, but I don't think it's as good as Yozora's. Because
Yeah, that's
Yozora's
true.
passive gives you more healing. But,
Yeah, that
this
perspective is
gives you
true.
snare, so pick your poison on that one. I will give her credit for, again, her cooldown is very short. And we actually
Yeah, it's
had, I
very
think,
true.
Fantasy showcase her, right?
Yeah, Fantasy did
Yeah.
showcase her in his 1-and-1 challenge.
Yes, and she really, like, helped him get through it. Her sustain was definitely on the board there, along with her low cooldown was showing off. And the snare's always nice. So, like,
Yeah,
I
it's
love
quite
this
fun.
Suzune. She's really good.
Yeah, and we might
Right.
as well talk about these two the same way because they're technically the same supporter. The Yugi and the Grani supporter, they're basically the same, basically.
Okay, I
They're
will, but I want to just touch base on these a little more. Um, Before we move on, because there's only like what, like not even 10 super rares here. So we already
no,
talked about Renka and Faust. I want to get into Homura. Do not be
she's like,
mad if you pull a Homura. She's still fucking good.
yeah,
Like 30%
yeah,
damage will never be bad in any way, shape, or form. It's 30% damage. Yeah, you'll take 10% more, but you know what? Like, if you don't have a Hibiki, like if you don't have a
Lydia.
Lydia or a Suzune, like, and you just need some damage, because I mean, everyone got a Nui, right? So, like, if you're brand spanking new, you probably got the Nui, or like you're working on getting it and you have more than enough time to hit the arena and do it. Like, you could just pair the Nui with like a Homura, and then bam, you have a nice damagey build with just those two. So don't like yes, she's super rare. Yes, she'll make your stats lower, like your defensive stats. But if she's what you have, do not be mad about her, because having her is better than like having this.
Yeah,
So
by far.
yeah, I like Homura. Like anything that gives all damage, sign me up. Like I've said it. I actually said it last year. When I went over like my favorite supports, she was one of them, and I said that like for all intents and purposes, she should just be an ultra rare, and then she'd be
Yeah,
perfect. But she's not. She's super rare. So
yeah, it's one of those things that I kind of do. I wish that Grimmery one day goes back to brings these like all these SR supporters, like turn them into ultra rares, and then for the rare supporters, you could just turn them into SR. So if they're not gonna make any more of them, they might as well just like upgrade, like so they could just have an upgrade version of themselves.
I agree with that. They could make like some sort of material that you can get from maybe some activity. Well, honestly, we could tie that into like what we talked about yesterday with the potential color restricted towers or however they'll do it, color restricted content. Imagine they added like a mat that lets you upgrade old super rare supporters to ultra rare over time.
That would be cool because
Yeah,
honestly, that would make like people that have Homura, they can actually finally turn her into a, like her like because since she'll be an ultra rare, the HP and defense will go up, and the passive may be different. Like she'll give you more damage, but the amount of damage you'll take is lessen or increased because she's like a
she's
very
ultra
like
rare. Yeah, it'll just
yeah,
augment her a little bit. Like, and she won't be like OP. Like, she'll probably have like a little less HP and defense than a normal ultra rare because she is coming up from being a super rare. But it'll bring her in line with what an ultra rare is, and not just her. All of these girls. That would be a
yeah, like
really
all of
cool
them.
like thing, and that's not unheard of in gacha games. I know when I used to play Valkyrie Crusade, like you could do that. Like they actually added a system like a couple years into the game where you could literally say, "Hey, like I like this super rare. I want to turn it into like a high super rare." As I recall, like HSR, and then like you could turn it like that's duping it, and then after that you could turn it into what was called like a GHSR or GSR, which is pretty much like upgrading the rarity to go in line with the next rarity up. And they were never as strong as like ultra rares, but they were always like as good as when they got upgraded, It made them feel like worth putting in your team. And you're right, if they're gonna just neglect, because like we haven't gotten any rare supporters since the day the game came out, like any more added is what I mean. There have been no new rare supporters, and super rares have just been neglected since this character. She's literally the last super rare supporter we ever got in global. So
Yeah.
and she's another good one, like in critical damage to ranged attacks. Like, yeah, now we have that on Reyna, but Reyna's blue. If you want that on red, you gotta kind of use her. And if you don't have a Lydia, like, there aren't many other sources that are gonna give you this critical damage except for Spica, which, again, she's gotcha locked.
Yeah, that's by far true.
I've always liked Erika's look. I think she looks really cool. Um, but she's just not
She
that
tip.
great. Like the boss thing is cool. It's just more damage against bosses. But because Homura exists, she always kind of fell behind. Because why not? Why use her when you could use Homura? But I've heard good things about her active.
I will. Yeah, the thing is, she did kind of she got power cut by that orange loli. Remember, like she does the
Oh
exact same
yeah,
thing, but
yeah.
she's
The
better.
lowly does that. Like she's like literally anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah.
I actually might mess with her in wood builds because I just realized how low her cooldown is.
I mean, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, I might mess with her in like a wood build or something. Because I've always liked her. I think she's super cool. I just don't think
Yeah.
she's very good. And I think that's it. No, that's not it. One more.
No,
You,
we still have,
Mitsuki.
yeah, it's just yeah.
No, I mean, I think that's it for the super rares, but I'm forgetting this one. She's
No,
still
yeah, cause
good. Like,
oh
I
yeah,
still
yeah,
would like throw her in a build. If you need cooldown, she's literally the easiest thing you're gonna get. Like, cause Haru, while Haru was just here, there's some people who like neglect to do events for whatever reason. If you don't have a Haru, even though she just ran twice, like she ran last year and then just ran this year, it doesn't matter because Mitsuki's in the pool. You can always use Mitsuki to get your cooldown reduction, at least 20%
yeah.
of it. So this is another supporter that, again, I think she just benefit from being able to be brought in line with an ultra rare, like by giving her some sort of upgrade, Matt. God, I really hope they like listen to this, cause like that would be so cool to have like just a like if they do colored towers, I would love to have like just like maybe you need like I don't know 50 of the mat, and maybe like you won't get 50 a month. Maybe you can get like 25 a month total from like the tower, the colored tower, if you can like clear it. So it would be what, like 1 month red, you get 25, and then the next month will be blue and green, and then the third month or the fourth month rather, you'll be able to get another 25 red mats and then upgrade a red supporter. And they would keep their S level. They would like just stay at S level 5. Like the dupes won't. The dupes for the super rare will still work on the ultra rare. It'll just be ultra rare. It'll just turn it ultra rare and give it the stats. That's it. No other grind is needed.
Also, if they're enchanted as well, they should keep the enchantment
Yeah, they
too.
would keep the
They
enchantment. They would keep everything on them, and they would just be ultra rare. Like that's how
yeah.
I would do it if I added a system like that. Because I think they should acknowledge super rare supporters. Because I mean, they're in the game. They're all here. They're decent. They're easier to get, and it would give free to plays like if they tie it to the tower, it would give free to plays working up that tower something to work towards. Because like, hey, like maybe I can't afford to get a Lydia, or I never got a Lydia. I got shafted, but I can finally turn my Homer ultra rare, and it'll make them feel have a little more pride in their build. And another thing is, this game doesn't really. It gives you free to play supporters like with events, but like outside of those, all these other supporters come from Gacha. So the game's
Somewhat
really
true.
stingy when it comes to supporters, if we're being honest. Like, because most people who don't pull Gacha, they literally only have event supporters, and that's a very, very limited pool compared to what's in the Gacha. So imagine being able to just like turn this ultra rare and say, hey, like I'm proud of this. Like I made her ultra rare, and like I can use her now, and it's a little more competitive than my account was. And the other thing is people like having stuff they can just get for free that makes them more stronger.
Mhm.
So having a means of like updating the supporters like completely free to play by just clearing the colored tower, oh, it'll give people that dopamine rush of like, hey, cool, like I just made my rank a ultra rare, awesome. So yeah, I'm really into that idea. I really like that. Like awakening crystals and like upgrades for like colored supporters that are super rare. I like that.
Yeah, especially the rares too. Like
Yeah.
the two rares on the bottom, they can actually use them.
I don't know what I'd do with the rares because turning them super rare would be like, well, these will be so much better because they're ultra rare now. But this is just speculation, and they'll probably never do it, or they'll
Yeah,
probably never even
but the
see this. But like the point is like it's just food for thought, just some ideas they could do because super rares have been totally neglected.
to be fair though, the two rares are really good though. They actually do kind of bring utility into the mix though.
What, like this or
Yeah, because like
the damage? What
no,
does she do? She's particle charge. Well, that's a lot of particle charge. Jesus.
yeah, like imagine if she was just like if she turns into an SR and she still gives the 50% or even more, and she does something else on top of it.
Yeah, that would be decent. And they could add like a damage multiplier to demons on top of the reduction when you turn
Like
her. Yeah, I could see that.
yeah, like oh, she gets 36% damage reduction to demons, and then she gets 36%, and like she basically becomes an Onigumo basically, but like always available basically.
Yeah, because what they could do, because right now these super rares aren't like super OP, they're just okay. They could make these OP because they would only ever become a super rare. Like they could give them silly effects. Like she could just have 100% particle regen. Or like something crazy, like 200%, like Ingrid. Just because she's a super rare, like she's gonna be gimping you if you wear her, defend HP and defense wise, but her effect will be really good to make up for it. Almost like how these weapons work. How where God, why can't I find them? Obero's thingy, or who else has? Yeah, this. No, not no. Well, that too. That's like 80%. But something like this. How the effect is stupid OP because it's a super rare.
Yeah, so that's
So,
perfectly fine if they do that.
um, okay.
I had to
Back
put
to
the
what we were
filter.
doing. Now we can go back to the ultra rares. I just wanted to touch base on super rares because like super rare lives matter, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um.
These two were
Yeah,
what
we
was
could.
next.
Yeah, these two. They're basically the same. Honestly, I think Grimmer should be a different color than being red, because like she does the same thing. I don't know why she's in the same color though.
Yeah, I mean I broke mine for enchanting, but she would be 30% if she were S5. She does get that nice, damage reduction on top of it when the
Yeah,
enemies are
but that
bleeding, and she does cause bleed, but she's something I would use as a sub slot, not as a main slot. Like,
it's
unless,
like
she's what you have, then she doesn't make a bad main slot. She just isn't the best one you could choose. So, yeah, you're pretty much using her for the 30%. But I like these supporters because, they're great on
it's
Emily,
damage.
they're great on Asuka, they're great on Yuki. It's damage for people who may not have had it, and that's, again, these are both free to play, so if Homura, unfortunately, even though she's super rare, is still gotcha. Lydia's gotcha. Suzune's free to play, but like, most of these other damagey supporters are gotcha. So it's nice that these came out and they give you a fat chunk of 30% damage. I like that. Same as those green supporters that give melee damage. And this is another great one for damage. It's just that she's only tied to demons. But if we look at if
That's
last
so
year was
good.
any indication, all we got were demons last year. Like it was like it was a demon fiesta, save for what, like Tokiko and Shizuru and Asuka. Every other character were
Very
demons.
true. Yeah, like basically.
Yeah. So like yeah, this is another great supporter. Like and she was kind of the start of like Red waking up a little bit. Cause Red was good, but like when this
But
came out it was like whoa. And like I think was this was before her too. But it
that was
wasn't like
before
yeah, it
her.
wasn't like whoa, it was like okay, cool, she's really good. And then this came out and it's like, oh, she's really, really good. And then we got Grani and it was like, okay, well that's Yugi again. But Grani was good because that was a period of the game where a lot of people were coming and going. So if you missed Yugi for whatever reason, maybe you didn't miss Grani and you still have that 30% range damage. But, Coco Elf. And you know what I noticed? A lot of people don't have her. It feels like a lot of people weren't playing at that time for some reason.
Yeah, and the thing is too, she wasn't an event. She was an event shop supporter
Yeah, she
basically.
was like you have to farm like what were they, Elven
Um,
Crest for that event or
yeah,
something.
it was like a crest basically. You had to farm.
And while we're talking about things that just deal fucking fuck tons of damage, I mean this
Lydia,
this thing. This thing
she's
is
bas
oh that's the bad
she
Lydia, one second. Here we go. Because I have two Lydias. But yeah, this is like what she looks like when you're done with her. When this thing came out, I was like, there. I pulled it. That's 5. I was like, there's no questions. This is something that like, literally when it came out, you pull this, no questions asked if you wail because it's too good to not pull.
Yeah, what's funny is that a lot of people that I showed my builds for for the characters that use the red, and people are like, who's that girl? And it's like, oh, Lydia. I just showed them a picture. It's like, oh, what the hell? I need that chick. Like, what the like? People don't even know that she existed until I posted her, and I'm like I posted my build, and I'm like, wow, really?
Yeah, because there's so many free to plays who like don't acknowledge the gotcha because they know they're not gonna mess with it, or they'll go in and do a 10 pull. But like, yeah, a lot of people like kind of like people were really quiet about Lydia. Even other content creators didn't really talk about her. I know me and Tap were like, "Holy shit, have you seen her? She's
Yeah,
so
cause
fucking good, dude. Like
yeah,
it's
cause
just
when I
too much
saw Lydia, it's
damage."
like, Yeah, it's like damage, which that's basically the part that Homer has, but she also has critical damage now. So it's like, oh
Yeah, she
wow,
like gives
that.
you the critical, and it's not just ranged, or like it's not ranged, it's all damage. It's all critical
Yeah,
damage, it's all damage dealt. So it's like she's just a great supporter to have. It sucks that she's gotcha locked, but
but
she
it
is
makes
in the
sense
pool, so
though.
you always have a chance to get her. So there is that
Yeah,
benefit. But like
it's the
she
same,
was the
and
start of Red's like real power creep, in my opinion.
yeah, and not to mention, some people may have pulled it from the Golden Pass too, like the
Oh
free to
yeah,
play row, basically.
like I know you got your Lydia's free to play, right? Like just getting lucky. I
Um,
know you like pulled a couple. I think one from gotcha, or did you get
no,
two?
no, I got two of her from my gotcha coins, and then I got two of them from buying the Golden Pass, basically.
Okay. So yeah, she's out there to get. Definitely want to look out for. If you get a Lydia, just like give yourself a pat on the back, cause her penis is bigger than mine, and she hits harder than me. I punch like a baby. Um.
Oh,
Oh.
speaking of one that the age has been aging well, it's Ingrid. Hers has been
Oh my.
aging
Yeah,
really
let's talk
well.
about Ingrid. I was kind of just going through the row, but we could skip to Ingrid. Like this supporter, when she came out, it was like meh. It's who cares about weapon skills. But the weapon skills we've been getting, like towards the end of last year, going into this year, like especially with things like
Coronai, Coronai's
Koronai's
limited
new
gear,
weapon, Koronai's
and
limited gear, Shizuru, and even Tokiko's unique
yeah,
weapon. Those deal a lot of damage. Oh, and Astaroth's Starlight Navigator also. Those
yeah.
weapons have really, really, really good actives. And like as stuff like that comes out, this supporter just gets more and more valuable. Like to the point that I've just said, fuck it, I'm enchanting Ingrid. Ingrid is probably like one of the most valuable supporters in the game. And just the fact that you got her free to play was just like it was ridiculous. Like you could get this supporter to S level 5 without spending a single dime.
Yeah, because they gave you two nano machines.
Like
You literally
yeah,
like free to play players. Like I have my Ingrid exactly how the amount of free to play players got, which they got 3 copies of her. So yeah, she's been aging really gracefully. Which like at this point, Ingrid's gonna be aging pretty well. You don't have to worry about her.
and Ingrid falls in line with Nui, how this was just like another good ass thing that they gave the community. Because even if you didn't, beat the tower and get the nano machines, or you didn't complete the waifu war to get the nano machine there, you still got Ingrid's from like the event. So it's like you could still get what 3 of her, I think, at the time. There were 3
Yeah,
ways
it
to
was
get her. I
3.
don't remember how now, but you could get her to
I,
S3 completely doing nothing. And it's like this is such a good supporter now, like in hindsight. Back then we were like, oh, she's kind of bad. But now she's really, really, really good.
yeah, she's really good, honestly.
And
Um,
we
I
could,
guess we could talk about the other limited supporters. Oh well, there's Sora and Thick Thigh saves lives
well,
too.
we're saving Thick Thighs for last. She's my friend. Um, we'll do Astaroth first. So this one is like kind of underappreciated, and I hate it because I love this supporter. Like if you like, what did you call it? You literally said she turns your character into a tower defense.
Yeah, she literally does because the plants, and then if you have the her awaken, you literally get more fucking a wall basically.
Yeah, she makes you stupid tanky. The burn that you're gonna be inflicting, and any burns that you would inflict outside of her, just make you 40% more tanky, and the enemies, take 40% more damage. So it's just like 40% either way. Now, we all know that building tanky is kind of becoming desirable. So why would anyone think she's bad? She's a great supporter, especially if you just put her on herself, because Astaroth, spoiler alert, likes to set things on fire. So, yeah, this is, like, great to have with her. And the active is what, like, me and Tack love this active. Basically, it AoEs the entire room. The damage doesn't seem that great, but for every enemy that does not die, it summons a little plant turret guy that is tied to each enemy. So if you like, say for example, AoE 20 things and none of those things died, you're gonna get like 20 plants on your screen, and they're just gonna start shooting shit, like independent of
Yeah,
whatever you're doing. And we all
yeah,
know after Waystorm's video that Astaroth can literally blow up the world, so this is just adding to that damage potential.
yeah. It's just she's been like but the only problem is she's only good for herself basically. That's the
Yeah,
only
that's the
problem.
issue with her. She's only good for herself. I do use her on like and this is gonna be really funny, but because she makes your normal attacks apply burn, when I want to do events with Emily and don't want to play, I actually put her as the main on Emily because the enemies can't kill her.
Oh,
Because once she burns something with her basic attack, she's dealing more damage and she's taking so much less damage that she can
because
just
of the.
auto through the event without me even having to do an alt. Like she was
Oh,
literally doing
okay.
like fighting Nui and Felicia on hard 5 with like no problem. I didn't bring her into bonus because like bonus I'm gonna do a real build, but if you want to auto events and you have an Astaroth lying around, she's really good on Emily to do that because she gives her more damage and she makes her more tanky, making it so you don't have to interact with Emily. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
basically.
I'm biased, but I really love this support. I'm so happy I finished it.
Yeah, I can see why.
Um,
Other than that, I guess we could talk. Well, there are two other couple limited supporters, but you don't have them though.
yeah, I know Koronai was red, but she works on blue characters, like her effect.
Yeah, if
But
you have her in the main slot, basically.
yeah, but Koronai is one. I think that supporter set is good. Some people like actually have spoken to me in hindsight, and like they say that the Vanish doesn't feel too good because they like basically if you don't have her limited weapon, like the active for it up, and you vanish, you can't attack, and they feel like it breaks up the flow of gameplay. So in
Oh,
hindsight,
yeah.
some people are actually saying they don't really like the Koronai supporter too much because of the Vanish. They'd rather it just not be there, or if it's there, they want to be able to actually use their skills instead of being
Mm,
locked. Because if your
okay, yeah.
active's up, you just do nothing for 2 seconds. You just vanish and come back.
I
If your
mean, if
active
anything,
isn't
it's like
there.
I can see why people could say that. Okay, I can see why.
But
Um,
what was the other
oh, and
one? That's
Asuka,
red.
but Asuka's not that great,
Oh yeah,
honestly.
Asuka's ass chunks. Who cares about her? Supporter's
She,
fucking
she's
trash.
she's by far the worst red limited supporter we have gotten, basically.
Oh, and Biscuit Spider. She's a thing.
Yeah, but
She's not very good. I just had to point her out because we kind of talked about every single supporter here but her. I just realized that. Like we literally skipped my friend. She's fucking Biscuit Spider.
I
She's
mean,
good
she could
against
help.
demons. Not much else.
Yeah, basically.
I like her though. I mean, I love how she looks. She's so fucking cool, dude. Like if she became playable, sign me right the fuck up. I love spiders in real life. Like when people kill
Uh,
spiders, I actually tear up. I think they're the most beautiful things on the planet. And when they walk on you, their legs feel like itty bitty needles. They're cute. I love spiders.
uh,
Okay, back to
yeah,
being serious. Sora.
yeah. I think these are the last two ones. Oh no, no, Nagi too gets an honorable mention because you don't have her
Yeah,
either.
I don't have Nagi. Nagi, actually, I'll take words from Ultra. Nagi, he feels like is very good for people who are into the tanky meta and they run red because Nagi actually gives you damage reduction.
Yeah, she
So
does.
yeah, Nagi. Can we view the supporter from the collection like what they do?
Yes, yes, you
Okay, let
could.
me pull Nagi up because Nagi's not something I want to just like talk about because she's also contributed to Red's power creep. She's down here. Right here she is. Okay, this? No. How do I? This. Okay. Yeah, so she is exclusive. Like her passive will only work on red characters, but this is kind of more the power creep we've been talking about. That's making red, putting red in an even better place than it's ever been. So basically, suppress type characters deal more damage by 12%, and they take 12% less. And obviously, at S5, this would be 24%. That is an insanely fucking powerful passive just to have for being a red character. The other
Yeah.
thing is her active is very good too. Basically, when attacked, creates a gust of wind that deals 10% of the damage and knocks back nearby enemies. So this is good because she's naturally making you more tanky, and if you built a tanky awakening, you're not dying, and you have basically an automatic repulse on your character. So wherever they hit you, you just deal 10% of the damage you took, and they get knocked off of you. So that's good.
Mm,
And her active is okay. Like, it's not the greatest active ever, but with everything else going on this supporter, yeah, I don't mind having a look, like a nice damage like freaking ability because this is gonna be 1080 damage when you level her because this is just this is a level 1 Nagi we're showing you.
yeah, she will get into the general pool.
Yeah, I know. I've been waiting for her to come into the general pool. I really want her. I tried to get her, she just didn't drop for me, and I didn't have the money to whale on her at the time.
Mm,
Us is the life of a gotcha player. You can't get everything unless you're ultra. So back to
yeah,
this.
yeah. I think
Um,
these are the last two
yeah, I'll just look at
supporters.
them here. Okay, so Sora, not many people talk about her, but she's very good on low cooldown characters. So Ultra actually has said he's gotten a lot of mileage doing like blue, red, red. And it's not like her best build by any means, because we all know that Noah runs like you run Noah with Morisaki. But on Noah, if you do like her supporter and then run like red, red and put one of them like put Sora as one of the subs, Noah's cooldowns are insanely short. So you're just going to be abusing her passive. And that 240% damage is a lot of damage. The only thing I don't like is that it's a random enemy, so it just kind of hits something. But it's always nice to just like do a skill and just see something in the like on the side take like 100k damage because Sora's there. It's just extra
Mm-hmm.
damage for doing what you were doing anyway. She's not bad. And if you're looking to like run some sort of steroid build, she can literally buff you for 80% of your damage. Like it just says, increase damage dealt to all enemies by 80% for 5 seconds. That's it. And it's only a 30-second cooldown. So you don't even really have to reduce her cooldown to abuse this. But if you do, like, you have a nice steroid on your character. The only problem with her is just, she's damage, 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 and nothing else. And at the time when she came out, she was like, whoa, look at her, she's damage. But with the way the meta seems to be telegraphing and going, stuff like Nagi's looking better, stuff like Nui's looking better. So like, while I think Sora's really, really good, I don't think she really fills the main slot despite having a nice steroid. I think she's something you put in the sub slot for characters who can abuse her, and that's really all you do with her,
Pretty
unfortunately.
much. Yeah,
And I'm
that's
just
pretty
gonna
much
go
it.
ahead and say it. I love her original voice actor because she literally NTR'd her man, and like that shit was like public news. And
Bruh.
bro, like, no, dude. You know what? Like, this is a Taimanin game, bro. Like, I wish they kept a girl who NTR'd someone as a voice actor. It's a Taimanin game. I don't care. I know what I said is controversial, but like, I fuck with that chick. Like, if she NTR'd me, I'd give her a beer. I'd be like, you go, wifey. And all jokes aside, I kind of like the old voice better. That's just me, though. That's my opinion. Okay. Was that too much of a bro moment? You're quiet.
Yeah, it's more of a bruh moment for
But
me.
dude, it's a timing game. Like Yuki be NTR and freaking Tatsuro all over the freaking planet. You're telling me that Sora's voice actor NTR'd some dude like for real? Like, yo, she deserves to work for the freaking Timon and Company. Like, they should devs put her ass in a VN and let her like play someone who NTR'd someone. She's the NTR queen. She's real life NTR mom. That's what I'm gonna call her voice actor, her old voice actor from now on, NTR mom. She birthed NTR for all of us to enjoy. Um, Last but not least is my favorite red supporter. Thick thighs save lives. Arkakuchi Aoi, if you don't want the nickname. But this was one that when we did the supporter tier list, we just kind of dropped her at the bottom because again, we didn't really care about damage reduction, and the cooldown was like whatever, like that's good, but it's like damage reduction, that's so bad. But honestly, the melee damage reduction she gives is great, especially if you run her on someone like Sakura, because Red Sakura is kind of a little bit of a beast right now. And this supporter works really good with her because it allows you to abuse Snare, because again, she has an insanely low cooldown with a 900% AoE that hits everything. So like this supporter, while I still think she falls in the realm of niche, I wouldn't fault someone for using her. She's really good, especially if you like build into the cooldown to abuse her. And at higher cooldown ratings, I literally had her cooldown to what? Like was it 16 seconds or 17 seconds? I don't know, but it was
I think it was 16.
yeah, it was insanely low. So to being able to just AoE the map for 900% damage and snare everything for 10 seconds on a 16-second cooldown, that's really
It's
powerful when
nuts.
you put that in perspective. And
That's not even including the awakening skill of the supporter too.
yeah,
If you have
exactly.
to.
It's not including that. And it's just the fact that like she reduces her own cooldown anyway, so even if you use her like by herself, you're still looking at like a 39-second cooldown just naturally because she reduces her own. So if she's on in your loadout and she's the main supporter, her 43-second cooldown is actually false. It's like 39 or 40. And I just think she's really good overall. And she's super fucking adorable. I love her. And I think that's it. Like, as far as like the state of red, like I mean, as far as the state of
Yeah.
red, I think I gave blue like an 8 out of 10. Like it's okay back when we rated it. but
Mm-hmm.
it could stand to be better. But with red, like red to me is just a resounding 10 out of 10 right now, especially with Shizuru coming out. Like she just takes advantage of so
Yeah.
many of the supporters.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, it's crazy how good it is right now. So, I mean,
Yeah, I think if I had to give it a number of red, I think red is like a, I think it's like a 9, pretty
why
much.
9? You don't want to give it a 10? What is it missing? What?
Uh, a couple of things it's missing. A lot of the red supporters are restricted to red only. Blue and green characters can't really use them. That's the only thing. So if red characters, not red characters, but if red supporters can synergize with those other colors, then it would probably be bumped up to a 10.
Oh,
I
so
think
you're
that's what
saying
we're
like stuff
missing.
like this because of this restriction?
Yeah, that's why.
All right. I mean, I guess yeah. Okay, we could say 9 then. But like, there's so many good reds outside of that. Like this, we have this. This is good. This is okay. Homura. Like that's why I said 10 out of 10. There's just so many things here that don't require you to be running a red character. Like this. This is really what tipped it to 10 for me. This Nui. Like all of
Mm,
what we got last year, like Lydia, Shizuru, Suzune here, Sora was last year. I know people don't like her, but I think this is an amazing supporter. And then, you know, like just Coco Elf and then like the two range girls, like those alone like would put it at 9 for me. And then like just the Nui coming out recently is that's what got it to 10. But we could say 9. That's fine.
yeah.
Either way, like it's rated highly. Like we both love red. It's good, especially if
Hmm.
you have Shizuru. I can't overstate it. Go get Shizuru and use red stuff on her. It's amazing.
Yep, pretty much.
That's pretty much the video. Any final thoughts from you?
Mm, not that. No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, if you guys liked it, please like and subscribe as it really helps out the channel. And while you're at it, hit the bell because YouTube is poop and the algorithm is dying. So until that gets fixed, like hit the bell to make sure you're getting your notifications. And thanks to everyone for watching. Thank you, Tack, for doing this with me. And yeah, we'll get the green video out sooner than later. We're gonna get these state of videos out, and like I said the other day, we're also probably gonna do a part 2 for blue. Since blue has gotten a lot of power creep, I want to definitely come back and review it. One more thing. We're gonna head pat the Kirara. She's my greatest friend. Okay. You boys and gals have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you tomorrow with another video. Toodles!